Merry meet everybody. It is Poe, your Friday hostess, and you are watching Witches of the Moon. This week on the channel, we're talking about being self-taught or being taught by somebody else in the craft. I can't really speak too much on the topic of being taught by other people, simply because I have chosen the path of a true solitary, and I have kind of just, it's been trial and error for me. I've made it up as I went, so to speak, kind of taking cues from books and articles and people that I've met online and watching YouTube videos and that kind of thing. So, like I said, I don't really have too much to contribute as far as an opinion on being taught by somebody else, simply because I don't have the experience to kind of elaborate on that. But I can talk about being self-taught. I don't think that one is better than the other. I don't think that one will help you gain kind of the footing on your path any better than the other one would. I think that they both have their positive attributes as far as the learning process and as far as developing as a spiritual being. And they also have their downfalls. There are some very dishonest, vindictive, controlling people out there who like to take advantage of newbies, kind of, taking them for a ride, making them kind of, um, uh, it's sad to me that that happens. But on the flip side of that coin, you run into people anywhere in any path doing anything. There are going to be people out there who are kind of out to out to better their own situation, regardless of who they have to kind of ride on the back of to get there. Um, and it's unfortunate they take advantage of people who are new, who don't know any better, who are just trying to learn. Um, that newness that people have, the kind of deer in the headlights look that people have when they first start off on the path, because it's a lot of information to take in. It's a lot of stuff to learn and retain and understand and put into practice and to feel confident with. And so, the newbies kind of struggle with that a little bit. I know I did. And, it's easy when you're in a position like that in the beginning for people to take advantage of you. But on the flip side of that, you run into kind of some issues being, self-taught. I know that in my experience being self-taught, I struggled with all the information and, trying to make sense of it all, trying to sort through it and decide what's right and what doesn't seem so right. Kind of sifting through and figuring out what in all of the information I'm coming across is actuality and what is just BS. Um, I think the most important thing to remember when you're doing this, when you're learning, you're starting out, and I've said this before, really it's two things. Um, the first thing that is really, really important in the learning process when you're first starting out is to remember that it's a lot of it is intuitive based, especially on this path. Very intuitive. You gotta listen to your gut. What feels right to you? Does somebody that you're talking to not give you a good vibe? There's probably a reason for it. Does it not feel right to you? There's probably a reason for it. Um, do you feel like if you don't do it, don't do the ritual or the spell or the prayer per the book, that it's gonna, it's not gonna make a difference? By all means, do it your way. It's an intuitive based thing. It's listening to your inner voice, listening to yourself, because it's trying to guide you down a path. There's so much more to it than just buy the book, and I really just don't buy into the idea that it's just it has to be a certain way and there's a reason for that and blah 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 blah. I don't buy into that. I guess call me rebellious. I just don't buy into that. I think that there are guidelines that you got to start with, but for the most part, I mean, if you have a working knowledge, a working understanding of those guidelines, I mean, those basics, I don't see anything wrong with doing it your own way. Especially if you feel called to do it that way, or it just feels right to do it that way. But yeah, so that's kind of something that's I feel very important, especially on at least in my experience on the self-taught path, but also, and this goes for, these two things go for self-taught or being taught by a teacher. The second thing is to always be objective and always question what you're learning. It's so imperative that you do not take everything that you hear or read or see or whatever at face value. You have to in order to kind of understand and work through it and figure out what's right for you, you've got to be able to question what it is you're learning, to kind of trigger your mind's thought process on what it is, not just, mindlessly droning through the learning process. It's a personal thing, and I'm, if you've been watching videos on YouTube by people who have been doing this for any length of time, you'll hear them say it's 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 something that you've got to really question. I mean, you can't just do it by the book every single time. I mean, it's not like that. It's not set in stone that way, regardless of what anybody says. And I don't care what anyone tells me as far as that's concerned, because I don't believe that. I don't believe that every single thing on this path is set in stone. Because if it was, it wouldn't be eclectic the way it is. So always question what you're learning. Don't take it all at face value every single time. Don't listen to every single person and take what they're saying as gospel, as far as the teachings or the rituals or the spells or prayer or the magic aspect of it or herbs or whatever. It's got to be kind of you being objective to it, and questioning, looking at all aspects of what it is. It's, and I know that sounds kind of general, but it is kind of general. I personally, I like being self-taught. I feel like I've come a long way being self-taught. I'm completely not opposed to being taught by somebody else. I would never turn down the opportunity to have a teacher. But I feel like I've been able to grow more in my own way, on my own path, having the freedom to study on my own and not do it per what somebody else tells me to do. It has also allowed for me to expand a little bit and really question what it is that I'm reading or learning or doing, and to kind of pick it apart and be analytical about it. It's kind of nice. Even though on the flip side of that, having a teacher, you'd be able to ask somebody these questions or any concerns you might have about what it is that you're learning or doing. But like I said, there is no right way. There's no wrong way. It's just the way. You do it however you can, however you feel is right, however appeals to you. There's no right or wrong. It's just doing it. So I know this is kind of rambly and it's very, very opinionated, for me, but it's just the way I view it. I would never trade the self-teaching process that I've had the opportunity to experience for anything. But I am definitely not opposed to the idea of having a teacher. So, you know, like I said, neither one is better than the other. Neither one provides more than the other. It's all in how you look at it, what you're comfortable with, and what feels right to you. So, yeah, that's my video. I hope you've enjoyed. I know, like I said, I'm sorry if this is very rambly. It's been kind of a crazy day, crazy week, really, but it seems like Fridays are just crazy for me. I don't know what the deal is lately. All month long, it's been like that. I don't know why. But anyway, yeah, so this is my video on, the idea of being self-taught or taught by a teacher on the path. I hope you've enjoyed. We are running a giveaway right now on Witches of the Moon. Please go check out that video to find out how to enter, because there are some great prizes in that giveaway. My goodness, they look amazing. So please subscribe and feel free to leave comments and enter the giveaway, and subscribe if you haven't and you like what you see. We love our subscribers. So that's the whole reason why we're doing the giveaway. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys have a blessed weekend, and we'll talk to you soon.